How's everyone doing today? Crash Test, welcome to this live stream. Everyone else that sees us afterwards, thank you for checking it out afterwards. Like I normally do, I will keep it up afterwards for those that do miss it, because I know there's quite a few people that want to see the spoilers and everything that has come out so far. Over the weekend there wasn't too terribly much. It wasn't really worth trying to fire up a live stream for this, but instead we had fun playing Arena, playing Minecraft Dungeons, and everything else like that. We'll give it a few minutes for people to arrive, because I know when these things go live, if they work, if they don't work, people are busy. And hey, it's Monday morning, or Monday afternoon for me, Monday evening for Crash it seems, and whatever other time people may catch this at. Yeah, things are progressing. We've had some developments with some of the stuff that's come out with Arena, or not Arena, with the new spoilers. There's stuff going on with hiring practices that have become very questionable for Wizards of the Coast, but that's for another time. And other things going on. What's the good word there, Crash, while we wait for a few more people to trickle in? So far it's you, so I'm guessing notifications never went out, which is unfortunate, because that really sucks. So maybe I will do one of these. See if we get a few with that. That's the most I can do. Everything else is on the interwebs. I don't have control over it. So far we got Scavenging Ooze for 1 green, 1 generic. It's an ooze, it's a 2/2. This thing's a reprint. It's a pretty decent card. Muchly needed right now to get rid of stuff in graveyards. This thing's going to sit there and eat up those graveyards 1 mana at a time. Oh my god. Crash. No. I've got things for it, and I just don't want to say it out loud and put it on the internet, because I just don't. I just shake my head at it and go, what are you guys doing? I know you're based in Seattle, so whatever. That's the way things go, it seems, nowadays. Anyway, we've got the Ooze. For 1 green, you exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a 1/1 counter on it, a Scavenging Ooze, and you gain a life. Yay, more life for me. Then we got the Palladium Mirror. For 3 generic, it's a 2/2. You tap it to add 2 colorless mana. This thing could be a decent mana rock ramp on a creature. At least it's on a creature, so it's easier to get rid of. But whenever you're giving something 2 mana at 3, yeah, it was busted back in the day. I wouldn't be surprised if this is busted, especially when we have Steel Overseer already in Standard. I think it's going to open doors that weren't possible before. We've also got Ugin. We've got the Ugin for more of the Spark. We've got the colorless deck. Like, we're just missing Urzalands. If we had Urzalands in this right now, it would be absolutely busted. So we'll see where that mirror goes. Then we have Rahad Heart of Keld. Hello, Hester. Infinite mana combo. Well, probably very well can be. 1 green, 1 red, and 1 generic. 3/3 legendary creature, Elf Warrior. I think this is a new version of an older card again, of an older character. I think the last one, she didn't look this good. I'm just going to bring up the image and see if I can zoom right in on it, because I know the last one didn't look that good. It wasn't as flattering as this one is. Yeah, it's a lot better of a card visually for the artwork. As long as it's your turn, Radha, Heart of the Keld, has first strike. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play land cards from the top of your library, obviously only on your turn, and if you haven't played a land this turn. She was also in Dominaria, that's what it was. 1 green, 1 red, 4 generic. Radha gets +X until end of turn where X is the number of lands you control. Wait a second, they're missing some text here. They specifically name the card at the very top of it, but then they don't later on. That's a break between a normal card text. Like, we get it that it's this card, but that looks like it's a mistake. I don't know if maybe it was a translated one, but why doesn't it say Raha Heart of Keld gets +X until end of turn? It's normal? That's been done before? Really? It's kind of strange. I think we've called it out in the past then, because that's usually when it refers to its own card, it does say the whole thing again, especially when they have it on the card already. It's kind of strange in that sense. I know they're trying to save space because, you know, they got to write an entire book on these cards now. Just like this next one, the Sublime Emphony, 2 blue, 4 generic. You've got a creepy woman taking her face off, revealing what looks like butterflies and birds coming out of her face. So weird. It's an instant. This is Lindsay Lucas who did the artwork. It's interesting artwork, but it's strange on a Magic card. I guess not that strange, but it's strange. So choose one or more. So you get to do one or all of these? Like, wow. Zendikar Land Dump is going to be a thing. Yep. So you can counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability. So you can counter 2 things at once. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Hey, Isfera. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. And you can also target player draws a card. So choose one or more. So does that mean you can choose as many modes as you want? I'm guessing that's insane for 6 mana, being able to counter 2 things, return a creature, create a copy, and draw a card. That's actually really crazy for 6 mana. Oh. 31 options, 2 times 5 minus 1. What? I know we have 31 options, which Sublime Infinity, that doesn't really go that way, because 31 options is with the color key, where you have every mix of color, single color, and then you have one for colorless. We got the Kite Sail Freebooter for 1 black, 1 generic. This is a reprint. 1/2 human pirate, flying. When it enters battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land spell and card from it, and exile it until Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. Experimental Overlord. Load. 1 blue, 1 red, 2 generic. Create an XX blue and red weird creature token, where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Then you may return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Experimental Overlord. I'm glad it does exile itself, because this seems like something that could be very, very crazy. Now, putting this in like a 1000-year storm deck, starting to return all your spells, and then creating a number of tokens, this could be something very busted in a storm-style deck. We'll see how that plays out. Volcanic Geyser, 2 red and X, deals X damage to any target. We've already got the Electro Dominance, which is actually way better than this one, but this is uncommon, where the Electro Dominance is rare, and that lets you play a card for free with the casting costs on top of it. So I don't suspect this will go anywhere until Electro Dominance rotates out. 9 lives. This is a very strange sort of card that they put in there. I'm going to guess something is going to be busted with 9 lives. Yeah, poor man's Banefire, pretty much. 2 white, 1 generic, hexproof enchantment. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnations on it, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So in what circumstance are we going to use this? I thought at first maybe you put this in Doom Foretold deck just to get rid of it. No, it's literally if it leaves the battlefield in some way or another. If someone makes you sack it, if there's a board wipe on enchantments, what like you lose the game immediately. And you can stifle it. Like, I don't know. Like, Solemnity on this would be absolutely busted because it would prevent the counters from going on it. Use the end of turn effects, maybe that's one way to do it. If they do this, and then you use that. Shadow Spear and destroy enchantment. Well, it doesn't destroy the enchantment. Generic counter removal. But it's got hexproof. So it's not like you can target this directly, right? You could, but your opponent couldn't. So Heartless Act is just remove counters from it. What about Soul Diviner? Soul Diviner was the one thing I was going to look up with that. Soul Diviner. Just because I can't remember if you can do it from a... You can't do it from an enchantment with it either. Because Soul Diviner is remove a counter from artifact, creature, land, or planeswalker. Not enchantment. So 9 lives right now. I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go. If it's going to do anything in standard. This will probably do something in other formats. Especially when you have cards that will give this away to your opponent. After it's been ranked up. So we'll see what's going on. Shadow Spear to remove the hexproof, enchantment, destruction, spell, bounce it. Yeah, but then you lose the game. Why? You wouldn't want to do that. Someone else would do that to you in a heartbeat, right? If you're against Proliferate, can they put counters on it? I'd have to read Proliferate for that, but that is a good question. Does Proliferate target, or is it just... choose any number of permanents. So it's not targeting the permanent, it's just choose any number of permanents. So I think you could... Yeah, it's exactly how to beat it. You can beat it, that's fine. But I think it's more of a liability of a card. Donate effects are going to be fun. Yep. Yeah. Then we got a Shacklegeist for 1 blue, 1 generic. Creature Spirit, 2/2. There's always spirits in core sets for some reason. Flying, when Shacklegeist can block only creatures with flying. Tap 2 untapped spirits, tap target creature you don't control. This is, in all honesty, in a rare slot, this is not... I don't see this doing much unless you're running a full spirits, but the spirits are few and far between. You might be able to do spirits for now, but then it rotates. Yeah. Yeah, Proliferate does not target it. Just gives it to permanents, so it's going to be interesting. Then we've got the Shrines. It was muchly anticipated that Shrines were coming with this set. It was hinted on, so we didn't know if they were reprinting them or giving us new Shrines. And they're all new Shrines. So now when we play Historic, we've now got 11 Shrines that you can build in a deck. I don't know how viable of a deck that's going to be, but that sounds crazy. Sanctum of the Fruitful Harvest, 1 green, 2 generic. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any one color where X is the number of shrines you control. That could be very dangerous. If you build up that many shrines, you can get that much mana, but at least it's only of 1 color, so it's not huge. So then we have... These are all legendary enchantments, too. So you have to be playing multiple colors. Were the original ones? I guess the original ones were legendary, too, weren't they? Sanctum of the Shattered Heights. 1 red, 2 generic. For 1, discard a land card or shrine card. It deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. Shrines are so exciting. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to seeing shrines because they're just gimmicky sort of enchantments that you build around, right? At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase for this black one, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. That's 1 black, 1 generic. That's the Sanctum of Stone Fangs. The card really kind of looks like it's in black and white. Sanctum of the Calm Waters, 1 blue, 3 generic. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. Sanctum of the Tranquil Light, 1 white. For 1 white and 5 generic, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. And then for 1 of each color, you get Sanctum of All. So all these shrines are in here for this literal 1 card. This is the 1 card that they really are pumping for the shrines. And it's at the beginning of your upkeep. You may search your library or graveyard for a shrine card and put it into the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. You know, I really kind of don't mind this because there's a long roundabout way, and at the same time, I hate the fact that it automatically goes and searches up a shrine and puts it onto the battlefield from your library or your graveyard. From both locations is absolutely insane. 5 mana is not hard to come by, especially if you run the 1 companion that makes 1 of each color. And that is where I see this deck going. There's going to be an All Shrines deck using Jithanta, I believe is his name, as your companion, and then you use that with the shrines, and away you go. Because not a single one of these are double colored. So they're not color locked. They've tried to keep them open so you can mix and match them. That makes things very ridiculous. And if you combine them into Voltron, you get a Shrine of Cancer. At the beginning of your upkeep, you win the game. I am surprised we don't have a card that says that if you control 6 or more shrines, you win the game. Right? I'm surprised that didn't come down in a land form. Right? Because, you know, things aren't getting any worse. Yeah, they're not that good. Like, I more see them being decently okay in the older stuff with the other shrines. Building up a shrine deck in Historic most likely will be what they were eyeing with that. Once again, making this only for Arena and not so much for paper. So it's kind of weird in that sense. We have Ranger's Guile for 1 green. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. We haven't seen a 1 mana hexproof like this in a few sets, and I am not surprised it's back. This thing is going to be a 4 of in any green-blue deck out there. This is going to make Simic out of control right away with having that hexproof. Not being able to react and deal with creatures on the board, this is what's going to make it very bad. You might even see a Bant come out of this with the protection color. It's gonna get banned. No, it won't get banned because it's not as bad as Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer was absolutely ridiculous. The drain mana and draw card ones are busted. Doubling the effect on a triggered effect for the shrine isn't that crazy because not all of them do. Like the one from the Aether. Yeah, it's hard to say. Guile will probably not be played as much, though. We have Heroic Intervention. But Heroic Intervention is 2 mana, where this is 1 mana. And 1 mana versus 2 mana for a hexproof spell is much different. Heroic Intervention was never really played that much. It was there, but it was never really played that much. Any protection from black or white in the set? I believe there was 1 green. 1 green card has protection from black. Then we got Baron. I use him as the thumbnail because he looks like Liam Neeson to me. Intervention gives you indestructible. Yep. They should have just reprinted Subtle the Wreckage at this point. Baron, Tolarian Archmage. 2 blue and 1 generic. 2/2 legendary creature, human wizard. When he enters the battlefield, return up to one target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So this is a very open face sort of card. You need other things to do something with this. Him being a 2/2 for 3, there might be one deck he goes into, but he's got a particular set of cards. Exactly, Crash. That's why I used him, because he literally, to me, looks like Liam Neeson. I saw it right away. I was like, oh my god, they put Liam Neeson on a card. Mistral Singer. 1 blue, 2 generic for a creature siren with flying and prowess 2/2. It's a basic prowess creature with 2/2. I'm surprised it's not a wizard in all honesty, because a lot of wizards have prowess, and just to keep that tribal going, we haven't seen a siren creature type in a little while here. So it is very interesting to see. And the last one so far we got right now is the Ghostly Pilferer. 1 blue, 1 generic, 2/1 Spirit Rogue. That's rare. My biggest question is this person related to Kaya in some way, with the ability that they have where they can phase shift like Kaya does? Whenever a Ghostly Pilferer becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. So if you attacked with him, he untaps, you pay 2, draw a card. That's a really powerful effect. When being able to redraw cards every round makes it very, very potent. But whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. And when I saw that effect on him as a secondary thing, I was like, why would they put this on here? It's kind of... This ability is something that seems like it's meant not for this set. In a limited game, you're probably never going to benefit from it. He is a 2/2 for... He's a 2/1 for 2, so it's not that bad. It's that added ability. It could be anti-adventure. I guess anti-adventure is a very strong suit for that. Escape trigger, yeah, but once again, this is not in a round stuff. So this is more like, it's not even printing an answer. It's just printing a card that maybe can get you an answer for those other type of things. So it's very interesting in that sense. And then if you discard a card, he can't be blocked. That's going to be very nice. Luris, it's kind of nice to have this as a backup, but then do you mainboard this, or is this becomes only a sideboard? And that'll be a very questionable spot, because if you mainboard this, he's a 2/1 that kind of has that recurring card draw, which isn't too bad, but the price could be a little too much for early game. Later game, it's huge, but early game, it might not be that great. I'll do a refresh on this page in case there is some more, which there are not. I'll just do a quick peruse online. It is Monday. I half expected them to wrap up these spoilers today, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like we're going to get at least one more day, because we are card 168 out of 274. We can't have many rares or mythics left. I think all the mythics have already been spoiled. If there's maybe one more to go, we'll just do one of these. See if anything came online really quick, which it does not look like at all. Yeah, there's nothing else going on with that. So yeah, core sets are supposed to provide cards for the meta that don't fit with the rest of the sets. Yeah, it really does feel that way. I do like to look at a limited format though, and in limited, this card is not looking good. In a standard setting, it's looking a lot better right now, but they did just ban Fires of Invention, so still you cast spells from your hand with that. So this didn't do anything for Fires of Invention with or without it being banned. It stops Luris and a lot of graveyard effects, but it doesn't stop them. They just let you draw a card, and it is in blue, so I guess maybe if that card draws into a counterspell, it's something else to look at. Anyway, guys, that's the spoilers today, and I will just leave it right there, and we'll leave it up, and people can come check it out when they do. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm still holding out for the lightning bolt. I think we all are, Hester. Shrines come true, and that was one of the speculated things as well. We will see you guys later. I will see you guys tonight, I hope. Anyway, we will, yeah, keep going on and keep doing